right, welcome to the rAVe Esports show with me, your host, Bubba Gaeddert. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are on episode 8. We've had quite a few people from those from Extron and Neutrik, Mike and Christy Custer from Generation Esports Gaming Concepts. We've had Chris Turner on. We've played some Fortnite. We've talked about the metaverse. Man, we've done a lot of different stuff over the past few weeks. Jeff Palumbo from Lenovo, which is always a fun way to say his name because it rhymes. But man, we have got a great show today, and we're just super grateful for our sponsors, Extron and Neutrik, for being able to support this show and as well support the Video Games and Esports Foundation, which is our charity of choice with this show. And if you are in the chat and you want to use !VEF, you can do that in the chat and it will give you a link to be able to send a donation. And if you'd like to get recognized on the stream, you can do that as well. And we'll show a real quick clip of VEF. Big shout out to the Video Games and Esports Foundation. We are live on multiple platforms. Big shout out to Gary K and Carrie Lartz with rAVe Pubs and rAVe. Thank you so much. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Kick, YouTube, websites, all over the place. Big shout outs everywhere. Let's go. That's right, VEF. Let's go. So I want to introduce an amazing leader in our space. If you've been on these shows the past few times and you've been learning about esports in the scholastic space, you've been learning about the difference between gaming, esports, streaming, and those of you in the audio-visual space who have been watching, trying to learn how to figure out how to get your corporation or your business into these college spaces or to these high school spaces or even professional spaces to use audio-visual. We're going to hear from an amazing expert who's been in this for quite a while. I'm not going to say dates or times, let her do that. But we're going to talk about the Collegiate Esports space, monetizing it, what she's doing with the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup, Esports U, Collegiate Sports Management Group. We have an amazing guest today who is a multi-time award winner and nominee for Lifetime Achievement Awards. The event Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup been nominated multiple times, won multiple awards, Tempest Awards, Scholar Awards, huge events that they're doing, and it's fun to be a part of what's happening. But I'm going to bring in our amazing guest today, Miss Angela Bernhard Thomas. How are you today?
Hi, Bubba. How are you?
I am super. I'm so glad to get a chance to sit down and not just talk about you, but get to hear people. Get to hear you tell people about yourself, because you're out there a lot and you do a lot of speaking engagements, but I just want to get this other side of you today and kind of get people to know you and know a little more about you and understand what you're doing and why you're doing such amazing things in the collegiate space. So first off, what was the first video game you ever played?
Oh gosh. I would say that would be Galaga.
There we go. Great.
That would be Galaga in the arcade with quarters, standing in line to play that during lunch break from school. So yes, that would be the first. And I love gaming, not proficient at any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a Spyro type player.
There we go.
I just downloaded GTA on my phone, so I thought I'd try that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
now,
I have two kids that are avid gamers, so I've been a gamer mom for many years.
And you've been in the collegiate gaming esports space for quite some time. What drew you to it many years ago, and what was kind of the first things that you were doing? You have such a rich history in this industry, and I'd love to hear kind of the humble beginnings of where you were before, maybe that got you drawn into the gaming esports space, or you were probably doing a lot of things at the same time because you're very versatile as a entrepreneur. So what was the kind of the catalyst of getting in the gaming esports space long ago?
Thank you, Bubba. So I've really all my career life been an entrepreneur, a producer. I've loved to sort of, come up with ideas, put teams together, raise the money, and just create things. So I love to create things, produce things. I had made a couple of documentary films. I made one about Pushpa Basnet, the CNN Hero of the Year, an amazing woman, almost Mother Teresa figure that built an orphanage for children whose parents end up going to prison in Nepal, and they go with them if there's no one else to care for them. So children end up spending a life sentence with their parents in prison. So we ended up making a documentary and built a place for children to live, an orphanage there in Nepal. So that was amazing. And I made a couple of other documentaries, and I had a friend that I worked very closely with on one of the documentaries, Blaine Gray Boys. Some of you probably know him, but he had started a company called GameCo. And when he started GameCo, he realized that he also needed a agency to go with it. So we stood up the Gamer Agency, and I came on as a partner and the managing partner. And we really were a creative services agency because casinos wanted to do esports inside casinos, but they really didn't know how to do it. So we started doing a little bit of that. And then we ended up getting Microsoft as our first big client. And the project was pretty expansive. We built the Microsoft gaming and esports studio and the flagship store in Manhattan on the 5th floor there. And we had a multi-year engagement, and our job really was to build out this studio. It was a content studio. We hired full-time talent. Golden Boy was actually some of our in-house talent there. We moved him out from California back to New York because his wife was from New York. And we made content day and night. And our contract was to deliver 144 events annually.
Wow.
So 12 events a month. And what we did was real basic. We started standing up weeklies around specific game titles and just building community around specific game titles and events, and bringing in talent, little mini competitions where we give, $100 prize pool, or, a sweatshirt. And so the idea was to create foot flow and traffic through the store. And we very, very successfully did that. We made some amazing shows that one day they're locked in the Microsoft vault now, but maybe one day they'll come back out. And actually should probably circle back with Golden Boy and talk about that. We eventually sold the Gamer Agency to Bruin Sports Group, and I went on and founded a company with another partner where we built sort of the first model in the country for a P3, a public-private partnership with the city of Atlantic City and the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, where their job was to take the luxury tax that was paid in Atlantic City and put it back into the economy of Atlantic City. And so they wanted to bring in esports events and entertainment for, at that time, about 4 million millennials that came through Atlantic City every year that didn't really have anything to do there. So
what year was that? What year was that you were working with?
Oh gosh,
City?
that was like, I would say 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was great. We were actually going to take and build a facility there inside Boardwalk Hall We were going to take the old Adrian Phillips ballroom, which was a 20,000 square foot ballroom. Beautiful location. If you've ever been to Boardwalk Hall, was the first convention center in the United States, the first building with a free standing dome ceiling in there, beautiful ceiling. And we ended up realizing that it was going to be pretty expensive to build sort of an esports arena in there. And they had a lot of other capital expenses that really needed to come first, like repairing roofs and things like that. So what we ended up doing was Plan B, which was to develop a host incentive fund. And it was funded with luxury tax money. And our engagement was to curate events to come to Atlantic City, you know, through our selection of working with different partners across the country, and also self-produce events in Atlantic City. So it was a great success. We ended up bringing like Collegiate Star League, one of their grand finals. We brought the sports travel summit there. We brought some Halo events. And
I was at that sports travel.
You were?
Yeah, when I was CVB World back in the day.
Yep. So that was great. You know, I loved it. And what we ended up creating was really a template that you saw pop up later on after that in other states. You know, Raleigh, North Carolina has done a wonderful job with that. Ed and those guys over there. And of course, you've got Esports Stadium Arlington, you know, that's owned by the city of Arlington and Arlington. So convention visitors bureaus, you know, now really look at esports events as an event type, you know, that can bring economic impact to their market. So, yeah. And then from there, I've also still got a partnership with Legends. We do feasibility studies. We've done about 20 feasibility studies. So a market that wants to figure out how they can get involved in esports, we'll go in and do an economic impact study for them, a drive-in demographic study. And, you know, sometimes they want to build a facility, or sometimes they just want to bring events to their market. And then 4 years ago, Michael Schreck, who's the founder of Collegiate Sports Management Group, and he has another co-founder, Ray Katz, two great guys. They both come from, you know, traditional sports, media business. And we had actually met a few years earlier. It's kind of a funny story. We met through Dan Coonan up at Dan's office in Danbury. I used to live up by Dan. And we met in this meeting. Dan introduced us, and I had written like a text to my partner or something, and I said, wow, this guy's a real a-hole. And so that ex-partner ended up telling Mike that I said that. And so a couple of years later, Mike called me up and said, hey, do you want to come join us over here? I said, yeah. And he said, well, I just need to get one thing straight. You know, somebody said you called me this. And I said, well, on that day, yes, it was true. And so we've been really close and great partners since then. It's been a wonderful experience at CSMG. And when you're ready, I don't want to talk too much, but when you're ready, I'll tell you about what we do there.
Yeah, I want to break down more of your journey through CSMG here in a bit, and kind of dive into what CCC does, what CSMG does, Esports U, and some of the events going on, your different verticals. Walk me through what it's like, though, in the college space for those out here trying to understand the college space. Just a little bit, kind of a 30,000-foot view of how the college space works, what levels of engagement there are from schools, administrators, and what I think at the end, I kind of want to go over of this little segment is what we're missing. So how does it work? How does it work? And then at the end, what are we missing in the space? What do we need to fix? What do we need to create?
Thanks, Bubba. So when I first came in and started looking at the college esports space, there's a word that people have always used in esports as well, which is typically fractured.
Yeah.
So when I came in and looked at the college esports space, which I knew nothing about it before I came in, the team, we did like a survey and we overlaid on a calendar everything that was going on in college esports throughout the year from all these different organizers and publishers and conferences that were being run. And once we did that, it was very clear to see that there was no real continuity. It was, the calendar was almost too busy. There was too much going on. There was literally too many conferences, too many leagues, too many events for schools to really be able to, you know, have quality experience, you know, playing competitive video games in college. So I looked at it and said, what's missing here? And this is still to today. What's missing is money from the space, the commercialization of college esports. So what we did is we built a monetizable product. Okay. And, you know, honestly, I followed ESL from, you know, my early days and kind of how they go about building things. And what they always built first was event IP. And so that's how we built CECC, which I'll talk about later. But essentially, you know, you've got conferences on the traditional athletic side that have also welcomed esports under their umbrella, and they offer that to their member schools just like they would another sport, traditional sport. And so we have, you know, conferences operating like that. You have groups that are operating as association organizations like NACE. You have NECC that's operating as a fully dedicated esports conference. And then you have conferences out there like Big Ten, traditional sports, who they've explored it and they've sort of endorsed a group of Big Ten schools now that is running the big esports conference, which is the member schools of the Big Ten. And they're sort of doing it as a almost proof of concept to show, hey, this is vital, this is valid. We've got a lot of STEM students in college that want to compete competitively. And we know that last year about $30 million in scholarships was given out across college esports. We also know about $100 million was spent on facilities. Wow. And that's growing all the time. It's not unusual to see $10 and $20 million projects starting up on campuses with esports arenas on campuses where it's not just about gaming. It's also about integrating other colleges across the university and other disciplines to come and operate and have classrooms within the space and really expand program offerings around almost every type of industry you could imagine, from marketing to communications to drones to manufacturing to medicine. Almost everything is getting gamified. And so campuses are realizing this. It's having a huge impact on education. Broadcast is changing. You know, it's the technology is changing. So not only has, you know, is esports a very, you know, high tech centric industry, but, you know, just the regular entertainment industry is very high tech. You know, there's a lot of series and movies that are being filmed in Unreal Engine now. So everything is changing. Yeah. And you see that that's very evident in the college space. So I think it's gotten more organized over the past, I would say, 2 years. I hope that we've played a big part in helping, seeing a little bit of that infrastructure get more solidified. But the big thing is the commercialization
Okay.
of it. And when you look at traditional sports, you'll think of sponsorships, you'll think of media rights, you'll think of ticketing, food and beverage, and merch.
Hmm.
Those are the traditional revenue streams for traditional athletics. We see the same ones in esports, but it's different. We're not on linear television yet, although I'm in a lot of conversations about it, and we're getting very, very close to that. So I'm really excited about, what a modern day regional sports network looks like, regional esports network. So we're working on that with several national networks right now. We've got a great event IP that we can monetize, and the goal long term is for that to trickle back down to the conferences and their member schools. So everyone that's participating in our ecosystem has some upside or reward. We want to support and grow and invest in the whole college esports industry so that everybody can be healthy and sustainable and create opportunities.
I love that, Angela. I was gonna say I appreciate it because of what you mentioned, fractured and segmentation, and the idea of us all in our silos. And I think what you've done really well is bring people together, and I think that's what your event, the CC is. And I wanna jump into that. I want to jump into that question about what the esports industry needs. But I'm gonna actually show the esports Arlington video here in a second
Okay.
about the CECC, and we'll come back to that question. I'm also going to show a real quick sponsor ad from Neutrik. So once Neutrik is over, stick around. You're going to see the unveiling of the CECC 2024 in Texas Esports Stadium. Be right back.
Making history at CECC. And there it is! Both platforms online and dip will take it home.
What a game. Take a victory lap, take a bow, and take the headsets off and start to yell.
Okay, you got to see a glimpse of the CECC 2024, some of the stuff from last year at Esports Stadium Arlington. We kind of went into what was needed. You mentioned quite a bit of it, actually, about what was needed in the space. Any last thoughts on that before we jump into CCC? What's missing in the college space? What's needed? What's the future of our space?
Yeah, I would say that again, commercialization and figuring that out and working very closely with brands to really understand their objectives and their KPIs and what boxes they need to check to, invest in this space and, maximize the opportunities that we're sort of putting together for them. Anytime we win an award or I have a public speaking chance, I always talk about the brands, because without them and the influx of their support, really none of this would exist. And so, we've tried to come to the table and be a solutionist and figure out what is really needed for brands to really appreciate the space and get deeply involved in it. And as you can see, McDonald's, our supporting sponsor, our presenting sponsor at CECC, both last year and this year. They're an amazing partner to work with. It's the North Texas Co-op of McDonald's. It's about 350 McDonald's. And so we go really deep with them on ways to, activate with them, in their local markets there in Texas. So they're a great partner, and, we couldn't be more appreciative for everything they do. They literally, are the group that makes it possible for us to get 84 teams from across the country here at CECC at Esports Stadium Arlington.
So the announcement came out this last week or two about going back to Arlington. What is the biggest benefit of being in Texas at our May Madness event? I know there's a lot of things that's great, but what would you say is the best?
Well, I'll tell you, I want to go back to something you said a minute ago, which was about building bridges.
Oh, please.
And, I think we underestimate the importance of that in business. When I first came to CSMG, I really took it upon myself to call, every commissioner, everyone that was running a league, and talk about us being more powerful together. And, I believe that this year and going into next year, you're going to see a lot of consolidation across the space. We're in communications with, all the leaders in the space, about what that could look like for, long-term sustainability. But I believe that bridge building is very, very important. I think it's something that I really enjoy and happen to, want to make that a focused effort of mine, is building bridges in the community. And that's really how the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup was born. Now, we can't call it a national finals because the publishers won't let us do that, which is fine. We have licenses for our events, and we work very closely with the publishers. But it's called the Commissioners Cup because it's the only multi-conference event that happens in the college esports space. It's the closest thing that you could get to a traditional basketball structure. We do call ourselves May Madness. So it is that. So this year we'll see we're getting ready to announce all the conferences that are going to be competing, but we've expanded this year. So we'll see close to 20 different conferences sending their champions to play into the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup this year at Esports Stadium Arlington. So you asked me, why are we going back to Arlington? So when we look for our event venue and our market where we're going, we put out RFPs for our event. And every year we get back anywhere from, 40 to 50 responses to our RFP. And so we have to comb through them, look at the benefits and the risk, of each, and sort of come up with a short list. We come up with a short list, and then we start working more closely with those different venues, with the convention visitors bureaus, with the sports commissions, the hotel groups, to figure out, what is best for us. And over the past couple of years, we really realized we were in Atlanta year before last. We went into Atlanta and Gateway Center Arena, which was a Hawks basketball arena, which is wonderful. It was beautiful. We do a whole red carpet thing. It was a great facility for us to be into, but we had to load in all the equipment. There's no big LED screen. There's no great audio system, no staging. So we had to load all that in. So that's always not always more costly, but it's costly and time consuming. And, it was a great facility and I would go back there one day. We looked at Arlington, and the reason we liked Arlington for last year was it really is a plug and play situation. So I don't have to load in anything. They have a wonderful control room with the most state of the art advanced, broadcast systems in there. They also have, contractors that we can hire that are used to running the facility, used to running the broadcast, know the lighting systems, know the audio systems, and can really maximize how our event looks. It looks grand. It looks big. It looks important. It's really exciting for players to get on that stage and to get to play. And, so that's a great cost savings to us.
Yeah.
And it allows our team to really focus on what we love, which is making a great player experience. So we do a full media day the day before we actually start the matches, and before we start main stage action, we do a full media day where students come and they have a red carpet experience. They get their headshots taken that we use for live motion graphics during our broadcast over the weekend. All the coaches and directors get interviewed. So we use that footage throughout the broadcast on the weekend. We try to kind of build up rivalries and, little personal battles that go on amongst the coaches, try to make it fun. So we capture content, the day before the event actually starts that we utilize throughout the weekend. And that's a big deal. It's something that players don't get to do. It's like being on the basketball team or the football team and never actually getting to go and play in an arena. So I think that is why schools and programs are most excited about working with us, is getting the chance to be on that main stage, be in a place where you've got your peers and your friends that you're making, long distance playing games with, getting to be there live with them. So Arlington is great in terms of the actual broadcast capabilities.
Yeah.
The facility is expansive, and we fill every inch of it. They're also going to be putting in a museum in there next year, like a tech museum, which will be very interesting. We'll be able to rent out spaces in there as well. But Arlington, I couldn't say enough great stuff about them. We there's other great venues out there too, Allied in Las Vegas, and Techport in San Antonio, and South Bend in Indiana. We did an event there. All of these venues are really highly capable, highly, tech efficient, and you're going to see more of those. You're going to see a lot more of those. You're going to see traditional venues now invest in broadcast capabilities, because almost every event type now needs broadcast capability.
Well, you're right. You need these spaces. I mean, the CCC is up to 84 teams now this year. Is that correct? Is that the right number?
Yes.
84 teams
We'll
compared
have,
to 64
80
last year?
84 this year, and we'll also have the Texas middle school and high school championship.
Wow.
And that will be across 12 different game titles. So there'll probably be about 900 high school students competing, about 500 college players competing. And then we'll welcome about 4,000 attendees to the event. And Arlington has a great convention visitors bureau. They work with us to make introductions to sports teams, to the hotels, the airport for signage, advertising spots in the DMA. And so they're wonderful to work with. The Sports Commission, very, very supportive. We get, financial support from them as well for bringing our event there. I would say last year we had about a $2 million economic impact to Arlington. So we keep track of those as well. And that's pretty standard today for what an esports events can bring.
So there's a lot of eyes on this event. It's streamed on multiple platforms. There's thousands of people there. The opportunity for sponsors, I think, is what I want to touch on, where these audiovisual organizations and companies that are watching today and will be watching the recording, that are like Extron and Neutrik and other folks that are partners with rAVe, they are looking to get into esports. And it sounds like what we're describing here is one of the largest events around. So what are ways that you could talk about why it's valuable, and what kind of information could you give these viewers out here in the audiovisual space, in the sense of how can they get involved with an event like the CECC or Esports U?
That'd be great, Bubba. So for this year, we will have 240 PC stations at Arlington. It will be the most they've ever had. And I think it's probably up there on one of the largest events, if not the largest event in terms of number of stations in one location annually, except for DreamHack, where people are bringing in their own stations. So this is, I would say, the largest in that regard. We would love to have more tech sponsors. I think it fits really well. You've got all of these students that are STEM students. So it just makes sense in general for the industry that, you know, over the next decade and generations, that's going to benefit the most from the advancement of technology, for them to be in front of what we believe are the future leaders and, you know, even workforce of tomorrow. These young people, these young STEM students that are, you know, coming out of university. So I think that would be great. In terms of what we have everything that you can think of as a traditional asset across broadcast. We very heavily utilize influencers to come in and be part of our event in a live way. A lot of our event is streamed IRL from influencers that we bring in. Last year, we brought in Esfan from OTK. He streamed live from our event. And so the viewership and engagement is what, you know, brands with real budgets need to see, you know, in order to kind of check that box and have that make sense for them. So we have all of those traditional broadcast assets, you know, social media campaigns, influencer campaigns, and, you know, also just more co-streams. We do co-streams as well. So we have some influencers in the facility live and some co-streams. So what we really do is we take traditional assets across broadcast and sponsorship categories, and then we sort of curate, you know, our talent, our influencer talent that brings a relevant audience to watch our content, to, you know, help collegiate esports fandom grow. And so we take traditional assets and we sort of put our modern spin on, you know, how we build audience around college esports. And then that's sort of our formula for maximum impact for our brands. So impressions, engagement across the board, we can deliver really, really good numbers for that. Any brands, I'd be happy to walk through our deck and show what our numbers are and what we can guarantee. I think it's impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And Extron, one of the sponsors today, if you're listening, I know you're a professional AV products powerhouse in esports. And also, we're going to actually see a little clip of Extron right now, and you can find out more about them at extron.com/esports, as well as, hey, if you're there at this event, there are a lot of colleges in need of all those fancy devices that you provide, Extron. So we're going to check out Extron. We'll come right back and we'll jump into all the verticals that you provide at Esports U.
Get future ready with Extron Esports AV technologies. Experience better looking images and higher quality sound with AV systems that are easy to control. When it comes to esports, Extron provides the winning edge. To learn more, visit extron.com/esports.
Okay, let's jump in for this last few 15 minutes or so into, we talked about the event IP with CCC, and I want to kind of just share more about what this ACE program is, AFK production studio. Let's break down those separately, and I'm happy to kind of learn more about what Esports U does. So let's go with ACE program first. What is the ACE program?
Great, Bubba. Thank you. So just for some clarity, Esports U is a division of Collegiate Sports Management Group. And under the Esports U vertical, there are 4 business units. And the 4 business units are our event IP, Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup, which you've seen and learned about today. It also includes regional events and sanctioned events. So what we're doing this year is we hold 4 regional events, and then we also sanction certain on-campus events that sort of meet a criteria that we set for production, as well as those events would receive an automatic qualifying bid into CCC. So for instance, at Ohio State, we're about to conduct the Big Esports Conference Championship, and the winner of those 4 games will receive an automatic qualifying bid into CCC representing Big Esports Conference. So we're doing that at about 5 different schools this year. It also ties into our point system. So the first business unit is our event IP, CCC. It's really our Scholastic series. Second is the ACE program. The ACE program is Accelerating College Esports. And this is a partnership that we work very closely with our good friends at Esports Foundry on. So what Accelerating College Esports does, it's a 360-degree solution provider for campuses that want to start a club program, start a varsity program, look at building a facility or retrofitting an existing facility, or figuring out a business model, a pro forma. How can having esports on your campus, help you recruit, grow community, and even retain students? We know that a lot of schools today are standing up esports facilities on campus so that they can use it as a recruiting tool to attract these heavy STEM students. So we can come in, help you design that, procure all the equipment, install it, help you with pre-launch opening services, help you staff it, create operation manuals for you, help you with marketing, building brand guidelines and templates that you can then implement through student workers throughout the rest of the year. And then also just long-term planning, growth and sustainability. We can also help you with monetizing either your facility or your program. We do merch. Esports Gear, one of our partners, does the most merch on college campuses across the country. So this is really where we saw an opportunity. We're already working with all these schools in our events. And so we added on this layer of expertise and service because a lot of schools want to get involved and have a facility or a program, but don't really know where to start. So we come in and sort of do a lot of hold handing, share our experiences. We're also everything we do is very competitively priced. We're very conscientious that a lot of programs don't have a lot of money. So we try to, provide assistance where we can, and just in general, good faith efforts trying to help grow the space for those that are limited on budget. So it's a great program. We love it. We are currently involved in multiple RFP responses for really, really big event esports arena projects that would be going on in the next year across the country. We've also, with our partners, Esports Foundry, done about 15 installations on campuses. So we're super excited. We love it. It's where we saw an opportunity to be an authority and share our expertise and experience. And it's a great business unit that we're running there.
Well, and it sounds like there's need for audio and visual people in the space.
Would love to have a partner. Yes.
Right. Okay, I love that. It's beautiful. It's exciting to see the effort, because there's a lot of just a piecemeal of that around the industry. So an overall soup to nuts, or into alpha to omega, whatever you want to call it. I love that, being able to provide top to bottom. Let's go into AFK Studios as well, and then production studio. What's AFK Studios?
AFK Studios was really born out of the need when we were working with brands. We saw, okay, well, not every brand wants to be so esports focused. Some of them just want to reach gamers on campus or create original content and shows that they can own and put their name on. And so AFK Studios was stood up with our partner, Integrated Content Agency, working very closely with Damon Harmon and Adam St. Clair and Nate Lindbergh from Twitch. It's really a focus on working with creators and influencers to maximize their audience. So, we curate and create original IP for brands. And so it's creator-led content. And it's something that brands really understand. They understand the value of working with creators and influencers and borrowing an influencer's audience in order for an endorsement of your brand. And so that is our basically creative services around creators and influencers, AFK Studio.
Okay, this production studio, this group of amazing folks that we get to work with here in this large open space of a studio. Some of the top people in our industry producing. What is this production studio that Esports U?
So Collegiate Sports Management Group, being a traditional sports media business, we also represent multiple conferences on their multimedia rights. So in order to represent multimedia rights, we need content. And so that is why the production studio was stood up. The studio is actually here in Hawaii. I live in Hawaii. You saw the sun come up as we were talking, but the studio is here. We produced about 1,000 hours of content last year out of our studio. What we do is we work with our conferences that we represent rights on, and some of the conferences that engage us and hire us to do white label service work. And we curate the best matches that happen. Thousands and thousands of esports matches happen in the fall season and the spring season against colleges and different conferences. So what we do is we curate the best of those matches. We put them up on our Twitch channel, and we have sponsors that come in and back that. And it's just a studio where we can create original content. We have our own talent. We hire talent. We use a lot of student talent in the studio, student casters. We let student producers and technical directors come in and shadow our professional team. And we think that's also really important for, career tech, training opportunities. So we like to do that when we can. And we can also stand up from the studio, anything bespoke. We just did a big campaign for the Marines a 6-week Valorant tournament that we did online that's not specific to college, but included college. We also do things like this year, we did a National Highway Safety Transportation Association, NHTSA. We did a program for them around Rocket League. So we can do, custom branded tournaments online and create custom content, social media campaigns. And it's really the foundation of almost all of those other business units that you saw there. We have our own studio. We can stand up things really quickly. We can customize things really quickly for brands. And I think it makes us extra nimble in the space, and we can be very economic in what we're doing and what we're offering to brands because of that. So it's a great. Kyler Tandle is our head of production and studio operations. He lives here on Hawaii. About 3 years ago, he came over to the house, and I said, do you think you can run a production studio? And he said, yes, I think I can. And I said, okay, well, you're going to get your chance. And he was a nuclear mechanic at Pearl Harbor. And so he quit his day job at Pearl Harbor and gets to do what he loves. And now he's one of the biggest and best producers in the nation, creating beautiful work, has a team that works with him, and great. We have a great philosophy inside our company. We're all very kind. We are bridge builders, and we have a very high standard of excellence and quality. And, we believe that has gotten us a lot of respect and acknowledgement across the industry. You can depend on us, and we're always going to deliver a really high quality product for our university partners, our conference partners, and most importantly, our brands.
Well, Angela, this has been so much fun. I'm going to give you the 60-second closing, but it's just you, and you get to talk about whatever you want to, explain anything else, follow on different socials, follow you, awards, whatever it may be, but you get the floor for 60 seconds to talk about whatever you want to talk about. CSMG, Esports U, CCC, anything. And time starts now.
Okay, great. So our socials are at Esports U Gaming. You can check us out there. We're on Twitch every day, Esports U. We'd love for you to go and look at our content. Any brands that may be interested in working with us, please reach out to us. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. You can see Bubba's got it up there. But I just wanted to say that esports, and especially college esports, is a wonderful space to be in. It's very stable. It's growing exponentially. We feel like that we've curated a portfolio of events, media, and sponsorship opportunities that are best in class. We feel very confident in what we're delivering to our brand partners and why they come back. And we just want to see the space grow, become more and more sustainable. And we want to be part of shaping that. And we invite brands to come along and be part of that, and an early adopter with us in that space, and helping us grow it for future generations. So thank you, Bubba. As you know, you're one of my favorite people in the whole world. And,
Likewise.
I love working with you, and thank you for having us today.
Well, Angela, it's going to be an exciting next few months, gearing up for CECC in Texas to go back. I definitely will probably drive down again and bring my pickup truck so we can make those McDonald's runs for chicken nuggets.
Exactly. Yes. Please use your McDonald's app. Download the McDonald's app, please.
I'm excited to see what we come up with for a commercial this year that blows the socks off of the McDonald's people.
Yes.
We're my first thought with Callie has been, you remember the old Michael Jordan, Larry Bird commercials where they shot it off the wall, off the something in nothing but net.
Yes.
I think that was a McDonald's commercial, if I recall.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I don't know. I'm trying to. We're throwing some stuff around of how do you do that with esports, off the wall,
Pong.
you know, Pong, exactly. Yeah. So, well, it'll be fun to come up with something. Maybe.
By the way, I did play Pong.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That's one of the first best video games.
That's got to be one of the first, right? So, all right, great.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
Bubba.
again. I'm going to shut down the show. Feel free you can log out of the control room or close the tab, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Angela.
Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again for having us.
Bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today to hang out and learn about rAVe Pubs, to learn about Extron, learn about Neutrik. Man, I just really enjoy working with Angela. She is a superstar when it comes to everything in this space, from media to esports to gaming to production, marketing, advertising. It is great to work with her and be able to just learn and grow. And for you guys out there in the audiovisual space, if you're looking to get into the esports space, she is definitely a great contact to get a hold of. I'm definitely pumped that you guys got to meet her today and learn from her. Hopefully here in the next few weeks, we'll be having some more guests. I know in 2 weeks, we'll be having the rAVe Esports show with our fun friends from Extron, Andrew Evans and Kevin Diltz. And we are potentially working on something with Victor Castor from the Army Esports group there. And I actually don't know where it is exactly. Army West Point. That's what it is. West Point. Now I've got it. And we'll have some fun there. Maybe look around live, hopefully, inside their facility. The new facility was built with Extron. And for those of you out there, please, if you love supporting charity, if you're excited about the future generation of gamers and those out there in the gaming space, students, you can put !VEF in the chat. We've got a esports rAVe Esports show challenge, trying to raise funds for students in disenfranchised areas for scholarships and grants so they can get STEM education through gaming and esports. Learn more at vef.gg. You can also learn more about Extron at extron.com/esports, as well as Neutrik America. Thank you guys so much for sticking around today. We appreciate you. Stay amazing. See you next time.
rAVe, take one, Mark.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph Beckett and this is rAVe TV. Is that not what I'm doing right now?
What does rAVe do?
rAVe
rAVe is a full-service creative agency that provides AV companies with creative services, marketing, and public relations support.
What don't we do? We do it all.
We have Pubs, which is our publications now, which is our live events, Create, which is our creative services, Consult, which is helping brands amplify their message, Speak, which is the live speaking and keynotes that we do, Storytelling, which is our PR and copywriting services, and then we have Launch, which is our live events.
I work under the Create talent. You have graphic design, you have day-to-day social management. There's so many different aspects.
It is so limitless.
rAVe Create is the worst talent.
If someone said that rAVe Create was the worst talent, they would be lying.
And Speak is the best talent, and I've never lied. Like whatever president that was that chopped the cherry tree and felt really bad and didn't. Is it Abe Lincoln? I'm Abe Lincoln of this office. My talent is rAVe Speak. We will be a personality or a host for different events within the industry.
One talent I fall under at rAVe is rAVe Now. People know me as the person that's gonna come shoot their videos.
My talent at the rAVe agency is storytelling. We help our clients break through the clutter and the noise in our industry.
My favorite part about my job is that every day is not the same. I love the people of rAVe.
You know, we have great people. We have a great team that really cares about what we're doing.
We have a lot of talented people. I'm able to come in to basically any meeting and be like, hey, okay, I've got a really weird idea. Everybody just keep your comments until the end.
We go beyond just what we've done so far. We're always doing something more.
Get future ready with Extron Esports AV technologies. Experience better looking images and higher quality sound with AV systems that are easy to control. When it comes to esports, Extron provides the winning edge. To learn more, visit extron.com/esports.